I'm looking forward to these next two guests. One of them is the producer of one of Oxfordshire's finest sausages. Oh, he knows a sausage when he sees one and eats one. Around Wantage, look, if you're around Wantage, and we went there on the big tour, everybody knows who Vince the Butcher is. Even though his shop is pretty much opposite Waitrose, people still queue around the block to get their hands on his pork chops, and even maybe buy a bone for their dogs. That's what Pamela did. And that's how Pamela met Vince. And that's why Pamela and Vince have just written a book. Vince, you see, wasn't always an angel, and being a butcher isn't really his first love. I'm teasing you now with the story. Let's make everything clear by saying hello to Vince and Pamela. Good morning, you two.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Lovely to have you on, Vince. You've come to my pad.
Thank you very much.
How's the sausages?
Going really well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're flying out the door, buddy.
Got anything good for the summer, maybe for the barbecue?
Oh, yeah, we've got some hot and spicy. We've got some
spicy.
sweet chili. Oh,
yeah.
we've got some nice ones. Fiery Dragon.
And Fiery Dragon?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I didn't see that
They're
coming.
going well.
They are going well. But being a butcher wasn't your first love. It's holistic therapy, believe it or
right,
not.
yeah,
When did you get
absolutely
into holistic therapy?
Many, many years ago, I needed to get myself away from some of the things that I was slowly getting myself into.
Yeah.
Decided to go to college and take a massage course. Got enrolled on the wrong course, which was a full-time course, a holistic course, and it was literally life-changing.
Was it really?
Amazing time.
Because you were
Very
going
lucky.
down a bad path, weren't you?
Absolutely, I was, yeah.
And you turned yourself round?
Yeah, absolutely.
Through
Been very
holistic
lucky.
therapy?
Yeah.
What is it?
We did aromatherapy, reflexology, Indian head massage, body massage, and then I branched off into hypnosis from there.
So how did you become a butcher, having studied all of that?
I ended up there was a break at college for 6 weeks. I didn't want to be idle because I may have slipped back into some old habits. So I went off to a gym and started doing some work there as a painter and decorator. And I started watching the body movements, body geometry. I'd learnt about the spirit and the mind, but I hadn't learnt about the body, the actual geometry of the body. And I got really hooked up on that. So I ended up staying there for 14 years. Ended up managing the place in the end. It was just another amazing experience. Very fortunate to have that experience. After 14 years, I had enough, really. I'd learnt as much as I could, I thought, anyway. So I just wanted to get out and have a fresh, do something fresh, something new. So I had a chance of putting a grocer inside my son-in-law's butcher shop.
Okay.
So we can do a combined business. And if you can't sell fruit and veg, you can't do a lot. So, so I decided to have a look at it, but ended up helping him cut some meat up on the day I turned up. I found it quite easy because I understood geometry, I understood where the muscles were, the joints were, etc., etc. So I found it quite easy to cut the meat up. He thought I was pretty good at it, so asked me to study with him, which I did for about 6 months. We forgot the grocers. We ended up going to business, opening a second butcher shop.
Oh, I see.
We went into partnership there. He subsequently had some money issues, and had to leave the business. We paid off the debts, carried on, expanded, and we're still here now today.
However, Vince the Butcher from Wantage has gone back to his first love. He's gone back to holistic therapy, and he's written a book with the help of Pamela, who happened to wander into his shop in Wantage looking for a bone for her dog.
That's right, yes.
That's it, isn't it?
And somehow or other, don't ask me how, we got talking.
Yeah.
I think I said, I'm shattered. Because I just got back from South Africa, where I've been running stress management courses for Panavision in Cape Town and Joburg. And it was, I had come back truly exhausted. And then Vince said, well, I've been into part of that. Would you have a look at this that I've written?
Yeah.
Took it away and I thought, there's some good stuff here, but it didn't have enough.
It wasn't complete.
It wasn't complete. And this is where I came in, because I could do exercise, physical activity, nutrition for stress, resilience, which is a big word in companies these days, work-life balance, stability zones, type A, type B personality, and all these sort of things I brought to the book to make it into a complete, what we thought, guide to managing how to stress-proof yourself, which is the name of it.
Name of the book, How to Stress-Proof Yourself. So you took Vince the Butcher's holistic therapy knowledge, you added your performance under pressure knowledge, and we've got this, How to Stress-Proof Yourself. And the book's in front of me now.
Absolutely.
Tell me a
Second
little
edition.
bit. Second edition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it
We've
is.
added some stuff in. The first edition, although we thought it was good, further reading, we found a couple of holes that we felt we could fill in.
Yeah.
So we created another couple of characters that actually plug those holes. And we think now, we are very confident it's a very well-rounded book.
We've had a lot of really good feedback, and I think that was what was good. From the first edition to the second,
Yes.
we took notice of the feedback. International Stress Management Association, of which I'm a member, they've given it a terrific review. A headmaster in Swindon said this could, fit into stressed people at work there. And so we've had really, really good reviews. And we based the second edition, tightened it up a bit, and, based on that feedback and the reviews we had.
I was going to ask that, Pamela, so I'm glad you brought it up. I was going to say, who's it for? But I suppose it's for everybody.
It's everyone. We've done that so that if you were a youngster could get a grip of that and really enjoy it, right up to any age, basically.
Yeah.
It's done in a very, very simple, very easy to understand
Because
format.
Absolutely. It's small, fits in your handbag, easy to read, great diagrams. We had an illustrationist
Excellent guy.
who was absolutely excellent. People look at it and say, oh, I love the illustrations.
Well, I just said that, didn't I? So
Yeah.
it's very
Straight
easy
away,
to read.
yeah.
Was the first thing
It's
I
very
said.
engaging. It's a
Very engaging. And also it's practical because there's practical exercises in it that you can do. And there's all sorts of super quotes that we've put in that grab the imagination, and people can hang on to that and say, yeah, if I always do what I've always done, I'll always get what I've always got, Peter Drucker. But that resonates with people.
How important is it, you two, to stress-proof ourselves?
Oh, God.
Go on, Vince.
If you're looking at anything you do in life, no matter what it is, if you're in control of what you're doing, if you're managing your time correctly, if you're applying yourself correctly, if you've got rid of all the stressors, you know exactly what you're doing, you can put yourself into any task and do it very, very efficiently. The task breaks down, or your efficiency breaks down, when stress creeps in.
Yeah.
So it's once you can control, understand, and see the triggers, understand when stress is coming up, and work with that, and understand, and then move them out the way. You're so much more focused.
Yeah.
You get so much more done.
And you learn to adapt, but you've got to know your triggers.
Absolutely.
It's recognising your own triggers, and it's then putting in the appropriate action.
Can anyone de-stress
Of
themselves?
course they can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely, with a few
application.
simple, practical steps.
What we did different in our book, because we've looked at a lot of the literature out there, and basically that's what it is literature. You simply read through it. They're asking the brain to to control the problem, which is actually a subconscious problem. It's happening way, way back, long before it gets to the brain sees it last, and then we feel it. This book goes into the subconscious. When you work through this book, it helps you to understand your subconscious. You see these problems arising. You feel the problems arising. If you get a tight stomach, you know what that's coming from. It's a trigger. Listen, stress is on the way. And you start to learn that. Those exercises get you to understand all the problems.
Listen, I've heard about going into the butcher's for a bit of steak, but I've never heard about going into the butcher's for a bit of stress management.
They've sold
It's
very well.
amazing.
Yeah,
They've sold very well
he's
from the
selling his
butchers.
book at the butcher's next door to the faggots. you get a stress-proof book. You see, you're going to the butcher. I'm just popping to the butcher's, love, for a bit of stress management.
They've sold very,
But
very
this-
well.
Of course.
Very well in the
The
book.
point is, there's so much about stress these days, that you get the feeling that everybody's stressed. Actually, everybody isn't, but we're living in a fast-moving, stressful world. And this work-life balance, is key.
We don't need more literature. We need more.
We need
practical
practical
things that are
tips.
practical. We could work.
That's
through.
right.
And that's exactly what we've done.
I mean, I went from one, just to give you a quick example, I went from one child to 4. Second time I got pregnant, I had identical triplets. So I went from 1 to 4. This was 40 years ago. Now, you adapt. How am I going to cope? Well, 1 bowl of food, 1 spoon, you go down the line. If the mouth isn't open, it doesn't get food, and you go back again and do it. You adapt. You think, how am I going to cope? You adapt. So that's the other angle. Think about it. How am I going to cope with this? Change what you're doing.
Looking very well, as you had triplets. Goodness gracious me. Listen, it's great meeting you both. Vincent
Thank you.
Montgomery, Vince the Butcher in Wantage, and Pamela Elder. They've paired together to create this how to stress proof yourself book, and you can get it from the butchers at Vince. You can have a look at it, try and look it up on the website as well.
And it's also on Amazon.
Good for
It's
you.
on Amazon.
We're just having the website built now, so
Yeah.
once that's done, then we can put that out and let people know where to go for it.
It's
Yeah.
a good job she came in for a dog's bone, isn't it?
Oh, it was wonderful, yeah.
It's sort of like an odd partnership, but it's a partnership that works
That's
beautifully
worked.
well.
Yeah, Pam's an expert in her field, and I've not come across someone that knows as much about her field as Pam, and I spoke to a lot of people, so, she's great to work with.
And so is
I've been
Vince.
very fortunate.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good luck to you both.
thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
and thanks for inviting us today.
Not
we really
at all.
Yeah, we've
appreciate it.
really appreciated that.
Thanks for coming in. 18 nearly.